Hey, Eric, are you there? I just wanted to confirm with you that it was okay to take your suit away from cleaning. Also, I found a little piece of paper in your chest pocket. Is it fine if I just throw this away?
Oh, hey, Helen. Yeah, that's no problem at all. Feel free to throw it away.
Well, what is it? It's kind of cute. Did someone draw hearts on this paper?
Yeah, don't worry about that. A girl from the office brought snacks for everyone and gave a little note with it. That's just from the one that she gave to me, but I didn't even really look at it, to be honest.
Oh, I see. Well, that was really nice of her to get such a sweet gift for everyone you work with.
Yeah, she actually makes her own candy at home. It's pretty neat. And it was really, really good too. Much better than anything you could get at a store. But I guess what else can you expect from a woman like her? She really would make a good catch for some lucky guy. Unlike some people I know.
And just what in the world is that supposed to mean, Eric? You don't think I could make something like that if I tried? Do you want me to try making you some candy from now on then? Is that what you're saying?
No, that really wasn't what I was trying to get at all. Besides, even if you did make candy, I just really would doubt it would even be that good. I think the secret to this candy is that it was made by someone much younger and prettier than you.
You did not just actually say that to me, did you? I really don't even know how to react right now.
Well, you do know that's just about everyone I work with is a young woman, right? And they all have hobbies like cooking or baking or sewing. Not only that, but they're always arriving to work so dressed up with their nails done and hair looking nice. It really is a good work environment.
I see. Well, I guess I'm glad that everyone at your office takes so much pride in their personal appearance.
I think it really is just a matter of the individual. Like you, for instance. You should really try putting a bit more effort into your looks, you know? Because honestly, as things are right now, you don't even come close to being able to compete with these ladies.
Eric, really, can you please stop talking to me like that? It's really, really rude.
I don't see what the big deal is. I'm just trying to be honest with you.
I know, but when you and I got married, you said that I was the only woman for you. You were so sweet.
Yeah, and just how many years ago was that now? Am I not allowed to let my taste evolve over time? I mean, sure, you were good looking back when we got married, but now you've gotten older, and there's just not really much that's worth looking at.
But I don't get it. We haven't even been married all that long. We just had our 4th anniversary.
And in those 4 years, you've been doing nothing but downgrading and getting worse.
Eric, why are you saying all these horrible things to me? You know that I would never say anything like this to you.
And why wouldn't you? Like I said, I'm only telling the truth and being real with you.
Well, because there are just things that you should be keeping to yourself. I mean, do you really think I want to be hearing any of these horrible things you have to say about me? And I don't like being compared to the women at your workplace either. So please, just stop all of this.
You really are annoying. Do you know that? First of all, you're not hearing anything. These are texts. And so what if I happen to like the women I work with? Did you know that there's this one girl who works under me who told me that I'd be her ideal type if I wasn't married? But that's not at all surprising since I'm on my way up the company ladder. I guess I just know what the ladies like. What can I say? At least I'm still a catch.
Well, great. So some young woman gave you a compliment. Are you really letting it go to your head this much?
You're just jealous because if I said the same thing to a man, it would mean basically nothing. Nobody wants to be flirted at by some old woman like you. But, like I said, I still have some gas in the engine and I know how to make the ladies love me.
Eric, you do know that I'm trying to live by my words and not insult you with the truth, right?
You really just have no idea what you're talking about at all, and that's why I really just can't stand you.
Right. Well, this has been fun, but I'm going to go ahead and take your clothes to the dry cleaners now. Hey, Eric. I just want to let you know that I finished work early for the day. I remember that you told me you had the day off, right? I was just wondering if you wanted to go out and grab some dinner with me, since we're both free?
Oh, hey Helen. Super sorry about this, but I'm actually going to be busy up until 7 tonight, so that's probably a no from me.
Wait, what? But you said that you didn't have any plans for the day. I got time off so that I could spend it with you.
Well, it sounds to me like you just jumped to conclusions. But my schedule doesn't revolve around your life. So if you still have work to do, you can just go back into that office and come home at regular time.
But it was my boss who suggested that I take the time off in the first place. I just used my PTO to do it.
Oh, come on. So you're really coming home now then? And here I was thinking I'd have another hour of peace and quiet by myself.
I'm really sorry for not asking you about this first. I guess I just wanted to try surprising you since it's been so long since you and I have gone out. I really would like to be able to go on more dates with you, Eric.
Well, I don't. I don't even want to be seen in public with you, Helen.
But why? What's changed? Why are you acting like this all of a sudden?
It's because I don't want to have to be seen walking around in public with an old hag like yourself. Do you have any idea how humiliating that would be for me?
Eric, you're not really serious about that, are you? Why do you always have to say these horrible things? And just what is so wrong about taking your wife out on a date every now and then?
If you really want to eat out so bad, then you can find a place to eat by yourself. I thought I had one more hour to myself, and you're not taking that from me. So just do whatever you want, but make sure that you leave me out of it.
Does the thought of going out with me really upset you that much? You really don't even want to go out on a date with me?
What are you, a kid or something? Try sounding less pathetic sometimes. There's no way that I would ever want people knowing an old hag like you is my wife. You're too old for anyone to ever want to take you out on a date ever again.
You're just awful. Have you always been like this? Did I just never notice? I swear you used to be much kinder.
And just what are you trying to say with that, huh? Do you really want to keep this fighting going on much longer?
No, you never said anything about how much you cared about a woman's age before.
Well, I'm sorry if it annoys you to hear the truth, but that's all I'm saying right now.
You really think that you can talk to your own wife like this just because someone said something nice to you? I don't know if you've noticed, but you've put on 20 pounds over the last 4 years, and you have quite the dad bod now. So I don't really think you have any right to be talking down to me when you're the one that's looking more and more like a fat old man.
Shut up! I do not need to take this kind of talk from a grandma like you. Everyone knows that once a woman hits 25 years old, she's basically worthless. So don't even bother coming home after work, because I don't even want to see you at all right now.
You do not get to boss me around, Eric. I will go home whenever I choose to, and that time is now.
I'm serious. You better not be coming back home. I won't even let you through the front door if you do.
Eric, just how long are you going to be acting this way, huh? Can you please stop being silly and let me back inside?
No! I told you that I wouldn't be letting you in the house, and I was serious. So you can just turn around right now and buzz off. I never want you back here again.
So you're really going to do this? You're really going to try and throw me out just like this? You're the one who can hardly even take care of yourself. Don't you realize that? How are you going to get along without me?
You really think that I'm going to have any trouble at all getting along without you here? I already told you that women your age are worthless. Breaking up with you won't change a single thing about my life.
You and I both know how much of a lie that is. You can't cook or clean. You know you need me for that. You can call me an old lady all you want, but the fact of the matter is that the house would fall apart without me, and your life too soon after that.
Sure, that might have been the case for a past version of myself, but things have changed and I'm not that guy anymore.
And just what is that supposed to mean? How do you think that you've changed at all?
Because I don't need you anymore. That's how I've changed. I'll throw all your stuff into a suitcase and throw it out the front door, so you might want to hang around long enough for that.
Eric, are you there? I think you and I should have a little talk, but I want to do this in person, so I'm coming to the house.
I thought I told you that I never wanted you coming back here again.
I know that, but I'm sure the house is an absolute mess without me there, isn't it?
Well, if that's all you're worried about, you're wasting your energy sending these messages. I have a new wife to do all the cooking and cleaning for me.
Wait, I'm sorry. You have a new wife?
That's right. I'm divorcing you. Or rather, I already have. I sent the paperwork and everything already.
And just how did you get our divorce papers processed when I never remember signing a single thing?
Well, that would be because I filled in all the forms myself. I didn't want to invite you back here just to make you sign them. But now we're broken up, and there's nothing you can do about it.
Okay then, why don't you tell me just what you mean by having a new wife?
It really is pretty simple. I just traded you in for a younger model, of course. I was seeing this younger woman, and then I proposed to her. She's much prettier and younger than you.
Eric, you do realize that you're admitting to having an affair behind my back, don't you? I'll be able to sue you for your cheating.
Oh, that's just fine with me. If an old lady like yourself needs to be paid off to leave me alone, I have no problem with that at all.
You really are just horrible, do you know that?
Well, I say that it takes a horrible person to know a horrible person. So what do you think of that? Besides, I may be horrible, but at least I'm not some old geriatric like you. That's why I had to leave you. I couldn't stand being around you anymore.
I see. And just when is this new wife of yours supposed to be showing up at the house then?
Actually, I thought she was going to be arriving yesterday, but we had to adjust our plans. I know that she'll be arriving any day now.
You really don't know anything at all, do you? Oh man, this is actually so funny. I'm laughing so hard my stomach hurts. I'm sorry, but no matter how long you wait, I'm afraid that your little girlfriend isn't going to show up. She won't even be answering your calls or messages anymore either.
Wait, what? I don't understand. What do you mean by that? What did you do to her?
You really think that I've just been sitting on my hands, waiting for you to make your move this past month? You've been acting suspiciously for a long time, so I decided it was high time I do some digging into what you've been up to. And I learned all about your plan to try and marry this girl as soon as you managed to get rid of me.
You looked into me? What is that supposed to mean? What did you do?
Well, I had to go and talk to a lot of people. Sometimes I would even wait outside your office so I could try and talk to people.
You went to my office? Are you kidding me? You better not have been spreading any kind of rumors about me.
Oh, I didn't do anything. Or rather, I should say that I didn't have to do anything. The rumors were already there. All the rumors about you having an affair with one of your younger coworkers. I think she was actually the one who complimented you, wasn't she?
That girl has nothing to do with you, and you should keep away from her. You're just jealous because she has my heart and not you.
Oh, I think that it goes much deeper than that. And I should know because I waited until I could ask her a few questions as she left work. I talked to her and told her that I'd tell the company what you had been doing, and I'd tell her parents that she was sleeping with a married man. I learned that she had more or less just moved from her small town to the city, and that she really didn't know how things worked here. But by the time she realized just how much trouble she was in, she cried and begged me not to tell anyone.
So then, you threatened her? What's the matter with you? Have you lost your mind?
Well, I only told her that she did something bad and she would have to be punished for it. But you really should have been the one to show her all these ropes. She had no idea what she was getting herself into at all. But she promised to break up with you and never talk to you again if I kept my mouth shut. Aren't I so kind?
So then, I'm never going to see her ever again? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, I saw her last Friday, and so I believe that tomorrow she's going to quit her job.
I can't believe that you did this. How could you?
You were the one who was constantly comparing me to others, putting me down just because of my age. But I guess I should be grateful to this woman for helping me realize just how horrible you really are.
But you're going to ruin my plan. I'd worked so hard to get away with this, and now you're ruining it. Not only that, but you stalked me and my girl and even threatened her? You really have gone crazy. Do you realize that?
You know, I actually had no idea at all that I was capable of doing something like this. But you can only blame yourself for pushing me this far.
And that's why you had to ruin everything with the woman who I was going to marry? How could you do this? You're terrible. You're nothing but a green-eyed harpy. Do you really want to stay with me that badly?
Excuse me? Who said anything at all about me wanting to still be with you?
But I thought that you were trying to break up what I had with the girl from my company so that we could stay together.
No. I just wasn't about to let you get away with leaving me for someone else and getting your happy ending. All of this was just my revenge on you for the way you've been treating me. But things are only starting for you.
What is that supposed to mean?
It means that I am going to leave you with nothing. You are going to be crushed by the time I'm done with you.
Hey, Helen, did you call my boss and speak to him about all of this? He just called me and was asking about the affair.
Well, of course I called him. I said that my husband was having an affair with a coworker and asked you two not to be placed in the same room. Of course, it won't really matter tomorrow when that girl shows up to quit.
But if it didn't matter, then why did you go tell him? Now he knows all about the affair. Ugh, I can't believe that you would do this to me.
Well, I just thought that your boss might be interested in knowing what was going on right under his nose is all. Of course, the two of you can't be fired for this, but I'm sure that you're going to get a serious talking to.
You don't have to go and tell my boss about this. Now I'm really going to be in big trouble because of what you've done.
Yeah, it sounds to me like no one is going to be able to trust you after this. You really should just quit yourself. After all, there's no way that you're going to get ahead in the company with the reputation you have now.
But this isn't my fault. You did this to me. But I won't let you win. I know how to get ahead. You think working hard is the only way to climb the ladder here? I can brown nose. I can grovel. I'm not above doing that for my career. And so what if this boss doesn't trust me? You don't think there isn't a whole network of managers here who I can appeal myself to?
Oh, right. I almost forgot to tell you that you will actually probably end up getting fired, though.
Wait, me? Get fired? What on earth are you talking about now?
I'm just saying that I think you're going to get fired. It's that simple.
But why? You just said that the company can't fire me for having an office affair or anything like that.
Well, yes, that would be the case usually, but you were having the affair on company time.
And just what's wrong with that? Huh?
And not just company time. You two could spend company money while on business trips with each other. Or you would use the company credit card to take this girl out to lunch. You essentially stole money from the company to do what you were doing. And that, dear Eric, is a fireable offense.
I wasn't doing any of that. And even if I was only doing what I needed to do to get my work done.
So what part of your work involved all those fancy dates at nice restaurants with just the two of you? Honestly, you didn't really think that you'd get away with this forever, did you? You left a long, long paper trail detailing all your wrongdoing.
Now, please, you don't understand. Those weren't dates. I was just trying to show her the ropes of the office life. I swear.
Oh, I'm sure that you showed her all kinds of things. But now that we're coming to the end, you should know that your company is going to sue you for that money.
This is all your fault. You told them things they never needed to know about. Why couldn't you just keep your mouth shut about all of this?
Well, don't go blaming me for this. I got all this information out from your little girlfriend herself. It just took a little bit of hard questioning before she put you both up to dry.
I can't believe that the two of you would do this to me. You're both terrible. I knew I should never trusted a girl like her. The only thing worse than a nagging old woman is a stupid girl.
You know, at this point, I almost feel bad for this poor woman. You got her into so much trouble than she probably ever expected to get in. But I've said all I want to say to you. You'll be hearing from my lawyer soon. After that, Eric received an email from his boss asking him to report to his office first thing in the morning the next day. There, Eric got the news that he would be fired and sued for his embezzlement. In the end, Eric was made to pay $20,000 to his former employers. Eric was unable to pay that amount and had to beg his relatives for help affording such a huge sum. It wasn't long afterwards that I sued him for his affair as well. His parents weren't about to bail him out of that one. In the end, his whole family chose to ignore his cries for help. Drowning in debt, Eric was barely able to find another job, but it came with a huge cut in pay. Now Eric lives in a tiny apartment, spending as frugally as possible to be able to afford his legal debts. It's been a year since I broke up with Eric, and my life has never been better. I have a new boyfriend, and I can laugh all I want thinking about this time in my life. But honestly, I wish I could just forget about it all and leave it in my past. Hey there, Ned. I just wanted to let you know that Beth's school play is over. I was going to go out and have some lunch with some of the other moms, and then I was going to head home. Is that okay with you?
Oh, well, if you're going to go out for lunch, then I think I might just go out and treat myself to something too.
Oh, really? You know, you could always come and join us if you'd like. I think there are a few husbands tagging along, so it isn't like you'd be the only guy there.
Nah, I think I'm just going to go grab something to eat by myself. Thank you, though.
Well, I just want you to know that Beth did an amazing job. I mean, she really knocked it out of the park. I really wish that you could have been there to see it. She looked amazing.
I know, but I told you right when you said this was happening months ago that I wouldn't be able to make it on that day.
I know. It's just that with all the other families, they had both parents there. And I know that Beth would have liked to see you in the crowd. You know, even after she got off the stage, she asked me why you weren't able to make it to see her.
Okay, well, I don't think there's some kind of rule that says that both parents must go and see these things, right?
I know, but if you were just going to take the day off work and rest around the house, I don't see why you couldn't come.
It's exactly because I have today off that I don't want to go. Don't you know how hard I work at the office? I almost never have any time to myself these days.
You say that, but you don't even show up to any of the events at Beth's preschool. You do know that she really does want to spend more time with you, right? She told me that's why she was rehearsing so much.
Well, I don't know what you want me to say to that, but I've already said my piece, and nothing is going to change that. I just feel like I can never do anything right, and now you're attacking me just for wanting a little shut-eye and to rest. Do you have any idea how unfair you're being?
So you really don't care at all that you're missing all of these important events for your daughter then?
Oh, come on. You think she's even going to remember doing these when she's in middle school or high school?
How can you say that? You have a daughter right now that you hardly ever spend any time with.
Well, it's not my fault that the kid is so ugly. You ever think about the toll that takes on me?
Wait, what? What does the way Beth look have to do with any of this?
Well, she looks just like you. Now, why would I want to go and stare at a kid who looks just like the person that's always nagging me?
Ned, you are just being ridiculous. Do you know that? Beth is adorable. You don't know what you're talking about.
I'm pretty sure that I do. And I'm telling you that she is not adorable at all. And the fact that you're insisting that she is just tells me that you hope I still find you attractive.
Okay, Ned, you really are just taking things way too far right now. Why are we even talking about our daughter like this? I can't believe you right now. I just wanted you to be there a little more for Beth is all.
I'm not being anything except for honest right now. You're the one who's refusing to wake up and face the facts. Why can't you just admit that your daughter isn't cute at all? And I bet she was the ugliest kid up there among all her classmates. You need to stop babying her and lying to her about how cute you think she is.
I am not lying at all when I say that, and I'm shocked that you could even suggest that. Don't ever say anything like that to me again. Do you understand me, Ned? And quit coming up with excuses to avoid being there for our daughter. That's right, Ned. She's not just my kid. She's your kid, too.
Maybe we can go and get some plastic surgery or something so she can get a new face, and then we'll talk.
You're a grown man making fun of how a child, your own child, looks? Do you just have no shame? I mean, really, what is the matter with you right now? Why are you acting like this?
I'm telling you that I'm just being realistic. And the fact of the matter is that our daughter is just objectively not all that cute. She's a very plain leaning towards ugly child. And I'm being serious about the surgery. I really think that our kid needs a new face. How is she ever going to find a job when she grows up? Don't you see that doing that would be for her sake? It would only serve to open doors for her.
Just stop it, Ned. I'm sorry that I even brought it up, but I never want to hear you talk about this again.
Hey Jane, where the heck is my dinner? How long are you going to keep me waiting for my food? Hold on a second. Where are you and Beth? Neither of you are even in the house.
That's right. I'm at my parents' house right now. You can figure out your own dinner.
Ugh, you really are such a pain sometimes. Do you know that? You could have at least told me you were stepping out.
You mean you really have no idea at all why I'm upset with you right now? After all the horrible things you've been saying about people's children?
What are you talking about now? You seriously must have a screw loose or something. I can't deal with you when you're like this.
You remember running into your coworker at the store, right? We were all there, and he said how cute he thought Beth was. Then you look at Beth and said that you always thought she was pretty ugly. And then you laughed and walked away.
Well, I don't know what you want me to say. You think I just need to give out fake compliments to people just because someone lies to my face about my daughter?
You didn't have to insult your own kid because of it. That's just rude and disrespectful. How could you do that? Didn't you see how hurt he was that you made that comment about your own daughter?
Hurt? Now you really don't know what you're talking about. If he was hurt, then why didn't he deny it? He just laughed and walked off too.
If you can call that a laugh. But his real emotion was written plain as day on his face. And the only reason he didn't say anything to you is because he probably didn't want to get in trouble later.
And just how would denying something that I said get him into trouble, huh? That doesn't even make any sense.
Well, how about because you're next in line to take over the company you all work for? And that's all thanks to your mom being the current company president. That's why everyone at the office is always walking on eggshells when it comes to you.
Look, I don't know how many times we're going to have to go over this, but we have an ugly daughter, and that's just a fact. So, I laugh it off and I don't let it get me down. But at least I don't live in the fantasy world of denial that you do. You just need to learn to accept the world for the way it is and laugh it off.
Can you please just stop calling our daughter ugly? I really can't believe that I even have to ask this of you. And don't you dare ever say anything like that about our daughter in front of anyone else again. Do you have any idea how much it hurt Beth to hear those words coming out of your mouth? You really upset her.
Come on, Beth is just a kid. She probably had no idea what us grown-ups were even talking about to begin with.
Beth is 5 years old and can understand everything that we say around her. Or haven't you noticed? I guess you didn't, though, because you certainly didn't seem to care when Beth broke into tears. She's probably going to carry that moment with her for all of her life now, Ned. What are you going to do to try and fix this?
Calm down. Jeez. What is it? That time of the month for you or something? She's the one that'll just have to accept looking like that for all her life. And the faster she can get over it and move on with her life, the less ammo people will have to use against her in the future. I'm only preparing my daughter for the way that the real world is going to treat her. So what is wrong with that?
You know, I really don't think I've ever met someone so callous and uncaring as you. Even my parents think that what you did was way over the line. You're the only one who really thinks that you're justified in what you said.
I just don't believe that. I bet that everyone really does think that our daughter is ugly, and they're just being too polite to say it to her face.
I really mean what I said. I really don't think I've ever met anyone who is as big of a piece of trash as you are.
Trash? You're calling me trash? I don't need to take that kind of talk from someone like you, you know?
You know what, Ned? If it weren't for the fact that you gave me Beth, I wish we had never been married. Why did you even bother marrying me if all you were going to do was insult our children and me every chance you got?
Oh, I know just what you mean. But when you and I got married, I still had no idea what true beauty was. After all, we only started dating when we were students. But once I got out into the real world, I started to learn what real women were like.
So basically, you're trying to say that you realized I was ugly, so you started checking out other women. Is that it? I just don't know how much more of this horrible insulting I can take anymore. But you had better stop talking about our daughter that way, or I really am going to do something about it.
I really wish that you were prettier, Jane. Then maybe we could have worked this out. But now, even I don't know what I was thinking marrying someone like you. It's obvious to me it was a mistake, though.
Oh, trust me. The feeling is so much more than mutual, you have no idea. But I remember that there was a time where you used to think I was beautiful because you would say as much. So what happened? What changed for you? I don't get it. Did you meet someone new? Did you fall in love with someone else? What happened to us?
Oh, please. Don't go around trying to play the victim with me now. Can you really blame me for cheating on you when you're so ugly?
Just shut up. Stop talking to me. I don't want to read another message from you or hear your voice. You've been so awful to me, and now I just need to think.
Hey, Jane, hurry up and pick up the phone. I've called like 30 times already.
I'm busy right now, so I can't talk. But what is it? What do you want?
I want a divorce. Yesterday, I realized that I just don't love you anymore. I don't love our child, and I don't want to be with either of you for any longer. I just want you to take our ugly child and get out of my life.
Oh, that's just fine for me. If this is the way that you're going to be, I have no problem kicking you out of my life either, son.
Son? What are you talking about? Was that a typo or something? Are you trying to talk gangster or something? What was that?
You're really a moron. Do you know that, Ned? I suppose not, but I also know that you're much worse than just a moron. I mean, do you have the gall to insult my granddaughter to her face and in front of people? What is the matter with you? You're her father. You should know better than to treat my poor little grandbaby that way.
Hold on a second. Mom? Is that you? Why are you with Jane right now? What's going on? I thought you said that you had some kind of meeting to go to.
That's right. I did have a meeting at a restaurant near your house. Jane reached out to me and asked if I could come over. And when I did, she expressed to me that she was thinking of leaving you. When I asked her why, she told me all about the horrible things that you were saying about your daughter and her. Honestly, what is wrong with you? How are either of those ladies ugly?
And what is wrong with calling things how I see them, huh? I should have to censor myself to make everyone else happy?
I must have done a really poor job of raising you if you think that saying everything in your head is a good idea. And I know all about you've been looking at other women. But it's worse than that. You've even been having an affair with somebody from the office, haven't you?
Mom, seriously, what are you even talking about right now? I'm not having any affair. That's just ridiculous.
Don't you play dumb with me, son. I didn't know about this myself until I heard it through the company rumor mill. And when I asked HR to try and discreetly look into it, they confirmed exactly what I had feared.
Hold on a second. You had HR look into what I was doing at the office? Why would you do that? Why are you trying to get dirt on me?
I'm not getting dirt on you, but Jane expressed that she was worried you might have been cheating as well. So it was a good thing I had the investigation open when I did. I didn't like what I found out, but at least I was able to confirm Jane's suspicions for her. But what she didn't know was the other woman you've been cheating on her with was married. Oh, really?
Hold on a second. You mean that you're just basing all of this off of some rumors that you heard around the company? You can't just believe all that you hear, Mom.
Well, then maybe I should just visit this woman at her home and talk to her myself.
You're gonna go and start harassing employees over this kind of stuff now? What's the matter with you, Mom? What are you thinking? It's all lies. Someone is trying to set me up. I'm telling you, I didn't do anything wrong.
I really just wish that I could take your word for that, Ned. But like they say, where there's smoke, there's fire. And if I can really confirm everything that's going on with you, then you are gonna be very severely punished.
Well, there's no way that anyone is gonna admit to sleeping with me because it's all lies. I didn't do anything.
I see. So you're pretty confident that you've convinced this girl to keep your little secret then. I guess that just means I have to get creative with how I get the truth out of her. I don't care how hard you've tried to hide the truth from everyone. The fact is that you lied, and there's a way to make the truth come out. You won't get away with this.
So then what are you gonna do? Torture some poor woman just because of an office rumor that HR might have said is probably true? I can already see the headlines now about how abusive the company president is to the poor staff. It really is such a shame.
The only thing that's shameful here is you. What are you thinking, sleeping with a married woman? I really just don't know where I went wrong with you, Ned. But if this is the way that you're gonna act, then I don't consider you my son anymore. I'm disinheriting you and you're fired.
Hold on just a second there. What do you mean that I'm fired? You can't do that to me. I'm in line to take over after you. I'm supposed to be the next company president.
What are you talking about, Ned? Did you really think that just because you're my son that you were going to take over after me? Do you really think that I haven't been keeping tabs on you? Following progress reports your supervisors filed about you? I know all about how little work you do. Are you forgetting that this is my company? That means I get to choose who leads it after I step down, and it certainly isn't going to be you.
So then, you're really just gonna fire me? Your son? You're just gonna kick me to the curb like that?
And why shouldn't I, when it's clear that you've just been coasting on my coattails and costing my company a full-time salary when you hardly even work? When I took over this company after your father died, he told me to do what was best for the company and not let my personal feelings get in the way of how I manage it.
Well then, what about all that you were saying about housing this poor lady down and trying to get some kind of confession out of her? Why are you doing this? Why are you so set on ruining my life like this?
I'm not ruining your life, but I'm not gonna let you hide behind the fact that I'm your mother anymore. Do you understand?
Hey, quit ignoring me and answer me right now. I'm serious, Jane. You are in so much trouble.
Trouble? Oh, please. The only one in trouble in here is you, and you know it.
Well, is it true? Was the husband really home when you and Mom showed up at the house?
You mean the house of the woman that you were having an affair with? Yes, her husband was home, if you must know.
So, what happened? Was she there too? What did everyone say? What happened?
I take it you're wondering if she confessed to the affair that the two of you were having with each other.
Just tell me what was said right now. I have a right to know, and you shouldn't be hiding this from me.
Well, after your mom handed over all the evidence that she had been gathering, as well as what HR had collected, the confession really didn't take long. She even told us about how while we were on our way, you were texting her and warning her not to say a word to either of us. She even showed us a text of you saying all that.
But is that why she wasn't responding to me? How did this happen? It wasn't supposed to go like this.
Well, it has. And now the two of you are going to have to pay me as well as this woman's husband for your affair. Then, you and I are going to get a divorce, and I'll take Beth. I don't know how you'll afford to pay child support after you've been fired by your mom, though. You've actually both been fired.
She even fired her too. I don't believe it. How did it all come to this?
And of course you know that you've been disinherited, so don't think that your family's money is going to get you out of all this trouble either. Although, you might like to know that your mom did offer to give me financial support.
Hold on a second. My mom offered to give you money, but not me? After she fired me?
That's right. You love to see it, don't you?
But why? Why would she do this? Why would she choose you over her own son?
Maybe it's because, unlike you, your mom actually has a sense of responsibility and knows the meaning of family. She wants to be able to provide for her granddaughter, your daughter, in ways that you never even tried to.
But that's not fair. How could she do this to me? I don't understand it. Doesn't she know that I'm her only son?
Don't cry about it to me. This was your mom's idea, so you can go and talk about it to her.
This is all your fault. You were the one that told my mom you thought I was having an affair. You were the one that put that idea into her head to do this to me. How can you both betray me like this?
Weren't you reading your mom's messages at all? She was already hearing rumors around the office that you were sleeping with someone before I even told her. She was the one that came over and told me she thought she knew who it might be. You did this to yourself, and it's high time that you accept responsibility for your actions. So accept what's happening and do something to act like an adult for once. After that, I heard that Ned and his lady friend didn't remain a couple and broke up in the fallout of the truth coming to light. So Ned was left with no one to love, no family, no job, and no money. Not only that, but his mom made sure to let other companies know why her son was let go, and he was unable to secure another job. When he finally did manage to find another job, it was only a matter of months until he was fired again for sexually harassing some of the female employees and bullying the others by calling them ugly. I guess he still hadn't learned his lesson. As for me, I took all the money from the lawsuit and the divorce and Ned's mom and moved Beth and I to a nice part of town to be farther away from Ned. It wasn't easy getting over what I'd been through, but I was already looking for a way out. I guess I was just lucky that the truth came out when it did, so that I could see Ned punished for his lies. Hey, Annie, are you there? There's something that I'd like to talk to you about. You see, my nephew just told me that he was going to be getting married. Did you hear about this?
Oh, hello, Martha. No, I hadn't heard that he was getting married, but congratulations, that's great.
What are you talking about? Of course this isn't great. This isn't great at all. It's so much more than great. It's fantastic. It's incredible.
Oh, I see. Well, I'm sorry that I lacked the proper enthusiasm.
Do you have any idea who it is that Andy is going to be getting married to? I heard that his fiancé makes a solid $1 million every year. Not bad for a woman, huh?
So Andy's fiance makes $1 million salary? Well, that really is something, I have to admit.
Not only that, but she also comes from a very rich family with lots of money themselves. And to top it all off, she even went to one of the top schools in the nation. Oh my, where are my manners? I really shouldn't be talking about how great this woman is to someone like you. I'd hate for you to get jealous.
No, it's really fine. I think it's great that Andy is going to be marrying someone so smart and successful.
You really are a bad actress, do you know that? I know that you're just boiling over with jealousy right now, aren't you? You know that no matter how hard you try, you'll never be able to live up to a woman like that. I just wish that my son could have someone more like her and less like you. I mean, doesn't my son know that you didn't even go to college? What was he thinking getting with you?
Well, I may not have gotten my bachelor's degree or anything like that, but I did manage to earn an associate's for some job training.
Are you really trying to brag about having an associate's degree? That's nothing. It's meaningless. But what else should I expect from someone raised by a single father? My Orwell should have known that you never make a good wife for him.
I'm sorry, Martha, but just what is it about me exactly that you think makes me a bad wife? I'd also appreciate you not talking about my dad in that way. He worked hard all his life to make sure I was raised right.
You really think that you could ever be raised right in a family where your mom walked out on you and just left you two alone together? There's no way that a useless man could ever raise a daughter right without the influence of a woman around. And that's how I know that you're not wife material. Oh, I just really wish that Orwell could wake up and realize that too.
I'm not sure where you're getting your information from, but my mom didn't walk out on us. My parents discussed things before getting their divorce, and it was all mutually agreeable.
But surely you've noticed that compared to other women getting married, you're woefully unprepared, right? I mean, you don't even know how to take care of a house all by yourself.
Well, I suppose someone who has never done anything in her life but be a homemaker would think that of my skills, yes. And for that, I'm really sorry, but you should know that I try hard to get better at it every day.
Well, if you want my advice, you should really try and take some cooking lessons. I think that's where you really screw up the most. So don't get cocky just because you've happened to make a few good dishes now and then, okay?
Oh, I didn't realize that I was being cocky about anything at all right now.
Well, what about when my family came over to the house to celebrate the New Year with us? You remember all the people who came, right? You must have thought it was so nice having men fawning over you, complimenting your cooking and style and looks. But you really just let that go all straight to your head, didn't you?
I'm sorry, but I really am not sure what one has to do with the other. But if you really want to know, yes, I was happy to have so much fun with your family. But I certainly never meant for it to appear as if I was taking that for granted or trying to show off at all.
Oh, please. It was so obvious what you were trying to do. I saw the way you were smiling and pretending to be so happy around everyone. You must have forgotten that they were there for New Year's and not you. But who cares as long as you were being complimented, right?
Martha, I'm really not sure where any of this is coming from at all, but I really don't think I was acting the way you remember.
Oh, please. I know what I saw, and I know how to read straight the kind of woman that you really are, Annie.
I mean, I guess that I must not be the kind of person that you like, but I just can't understand what it is that makes you act this way.
I already told you exactly why it is I feel this way about you. Weren't you reading my messages at all? Or were they just not making it through that thick skull of yours?
There really isn't any need for you to be talking to me like that.
Oh, please. You don't get to order me around. I know right from the start that my little Orwell should have never married a girl like you. But just remember that this is your fault for not being a better woman and a better wife. I hope that my son falls out of love with you and leaves you far behind.
If you have a problem, I can accept that, but please keep your comments about my marriage and husband to yourself.
You really telling me how to talk about my own son right now? You really do have some nerve, do you know that? But I'm only being honest. It's just a matter of time before he leaves you, and I hope it's sooner rather than later. And then we can all finally be rid of you for good. Hey there, Annie. I was just wondering how much longer were you going to take to finally get back home?
Well, I actually just did get back home, so here I am, I guess.
I see. Well, I'm glad to hear that you made it back all in one piece.
Thank you? Anyways, how are you doing? Did you also just get home from the family reunion?
Well, if you really must know, I actually went to a nice little family gathering today. It was pleasant and relaxing and not stressful in the least.
Okay, well, those are all good things. It sounds to me like you had a good time catching up with the family then. I hope that one day I can feel that same way at these family gatherings that happen.
Oh no, you should never be made to feel comfortable around my family. You should always feel on edge and like you're doing something wrong around them. Don't you know anything about being a wife at all? Don't you see how arrogant that was of you to say?
Was it really? I don't even know what I did.
You really are sad, do you know that? You barely helped at all in the kitchen, and you were completely useless. You humiliated me in front of everyone.
I really don't think that's fair. I was doing a lot of cooking and was only able to eat after everyone else had been served. In fact, the only reason I stopped to eat at all is because of the rest of your family insisting that I had done enough and deserved a break.
And you just did what they said in the first invitation? Don't you know that good wife should insist on working despite people telling her to stop? Don't you know of the rules of hosting your husband's family? You can't just stop working because someone tells you to. Honestly, don't you know anything at all? You really are just so embarrassing all of the time.
I'm sorry, Martha. I just didn't want to argue with your family, and I was getting pretty tired, so I thought it would be okay.
I don't care what excuse you've come up with to try and excuse yourself out of this. Why did you even bother showing up to this event when you're not part of the family?
But you just said that I was part of the family, right? I mean, you were talking about me hosting my husband's family, which I'd also be a part of, right?
This just proves you really don't know anything at all. You're nobody, got it? You're nothing to this family, and I don't appreciate you trying to sink your claws into my family.
I'm not trying to sink my claws into anyone. Besides, Orwell and I are literally married.
You think that just because you've married someone means that you're part of their family? You need to earn your place here, and it's going to take some time. And you are going to be banned from any further family functions until you've built up more trust.
But I felt like everyone enjoyed having me around. I didn't think I was doing anything awkward. Everyone was so nice to me. I thought I had finally started to ingratiate myself to them.
And just what in the world makes you think that you can be a fair judge of that, Besides, you only got that impression because, unlike you, my family knows the basics of manners and dealing with outsiders like you. But if you're just going to talk back to me like this, then I don't ever want to see you at another family gathering again. Do you understand me?
You really never want me to show up to another one of these functions again?
That's right. At least you seem to be able to understand that much. But I just can't stand you embarrassing me any longer. Now, we are going to be having a wedding in the family next month, but you are not to show your face there. Understand?
Are you talking about the wedding for Orwell's cousin? He and I both got invitations to be there. Wouldn't the rude thing be to not show up at this point?
There you go again, showing that you really have no idea how the real world works. You were going to tell her that something came up and that's why you can't show up. Are you really so stupid that you needed me to think that up for you as well?
But wouldn't it be weird if I didn't go to the wedding but Orwell did?
And just what would be weird about that? Why do you think that anyone would want some outsider like you showing up at this wedding anyways?
Martha, I think the only one who doesn't want me to be at the wedding is actually you.
Of course it's not only me. My husband says all the time about how uppity he thinks you are and how rude and embarrassing you're always being.
Are you sure? Because I really don't get that sense from the times that I've interacted with him.
Oh, so no, you don't think you know my husband better than I do? And if you have tricked anyone into liking you, it's only because you're being a little kiss-up. But I'm sick and tired of seeing you do nothing at our family reunions.
And your husband really agrees with all of what you're saying about me?
Of course. Neither I nor my husband like you at all, do you understand? And the rest of the family feels the exact same way. Nobody can stand being around you and my family, and that's why you're banned from any future family events. Do I make myself clear, Annie?
Oh yes, you make yourself crystal clear, Martha. I'll be sure to remember this.
Annie, are you there? This is an emergency. Get back to me as soon as you can. I need you to send me some money right away.
Wait, what? I'm confused. What is all of this about? Why do you need me to send you money?
It's my husband. Haven't you heard about him? He can't work anymore.
Oh, yes, I heard about him and that he'd gotten sick with something.
Well, it's true. The disease, he just ravaged his body, and now he barely has any strength to even eat, let alone work a job. That's why you need to start sending us $2,000 a month.
But I thought you said that I wasn't part of the family and that I was just an outsider, right? You told me that you didn't want me weeding my way into your family's affairs, remember?
What in the world are you talking about? Of course we're family, and family is supposed to help each other during times of need.
I'm only quoting things that you've said to me in the past. You told me that I wasn't part of the family and that I'd have to earn my way into it. That's why you told me to stop showing up to family functions or events, remember?
But you're married to my son. How can you say that you're not family when you're literally my daughter-in-law?
That's exactly what I was trying to ask you all those years ago, but you shot me down and insisted that you were right about everything. But the only people we think of as our parents now are my parents. You're the one who's nothing to us now. You're not a part of this family.
I knew it. I knew that you were no good, useless wife. I should have been more strict with you. Now look at you thinking you can talk to me like this.
You literally tried to ban me from participating in any family functions. You do realize that, right? If you didn't like the consequences of what you said to me, then you shouldn't have said that in the first place. Why don't you try being a bit more of an adult and take responsibility for the things that you've said? Because I am not going to sit here and pretend like you didn't start all of this first.
You rude little ingrate. You really are just horrible, do you know that? How dare you try and talk to your own mother-in-law that way?
I already told you that you're nothing to me, so if you think that you can just call on Orwell and I in your time of need, then that's too bad. I mean, aren't you even embarrassed in the slightest about asking like this? Besides, if your husband is really sick and can't work, then it sounds to me like it's time for you to get a job.
But you know that I've never held a job as long as I've lived. Besides, who in their right minds would hire someone at my age?
Oh, I don't know about that. I think places are pretty desperate for new hires. I'm sure that if you apply yourself, you'll find something. But I'm not about to let you start leeching off of us because you're too lazy to work.
And just who do you think you are calling me a leech, huh? What's wrong with a mother coming to her son and wife and asking for help like this? Why are you taking such a horrible attitude with me when you can see that I just want a little help? How can you be rude like this?
You're the one that's reaching out to me after years of not talking, and you're only doing it to ask for money. Why on earth do you think that I would have to be polite to you for doing that? You didn't even try to build up to asking for it. You really are such a nasty person to deal with. Do you know that? Why would I give money to someone who's been so horrible to me?
Ugh, I've had it with you. I don't know why I even bothered sending this message to you. I knew that I should have just gone to my son about this in the first place. I never want to hear from you again. Do you understand me? Annie, dear, are you there? I just wanted to apologize for my behavior earlier and for the things that I said.
Didn't you just tell me that you never ever wanted to hear from me again?
Well, yes, but that was taking things too far. I shouldn't have said that. I guess I just got a bit flustered is all.
You mean you got upset because I told you I wasn't going to give you any money? And now you're only apologizing to me because you think doing so will get you money.
Well, I didn't think that Orwell would be so upset with me either, but he told me that he couldn't forgive me for the way that I had treated you.
I see. I actually was just getting some texts from Orwell about how mad he was that he had to deal with you again today.
He told me that he didn't want to talk to me ever again either. But I didn't even do anything. I don't deserve to be treated like this. I know that you're a good enough wife to know how to treat your mother-in-law, right?
Excuse me? You made me feel like an idiot just for wanting to get along with your family. You told me that I was an embarrassment, and now you have the gall to try and pretend like none of that happened? Do you really believe that, or do you just think I'm stupid enough to fall for this?
I don't think you're stupid at all, Annie. Please, let's not fight. That's not what I came here to do. Can't we all just be polite right now?
Oh, really? And just where was being polite with each other earlier today, huh? I don't care how many times you apologize to me, you aren't going to get a penny out of me. So go ahead and find someone else to try and mooch off of.
Please, I just need $1,000. Just $1,000 a month. We don't make enough money with our retirement to make ends meet here. Even if I were to work, it still wouldn't be enough. Besides, I still have to wait for my paycheck, and we really need the money now. Can't you just please help us until then?
I'm sorry, but it sounds to me like you'll just have to make some serious cuts to your budget. You might want to go and stock up on some instant noodles and other cheap foods.
You really can't expect people our age to live off that, do you? Please, we barely even have enough for groceries. Are you really going to condemn two seniors to having to live like this?
Sounds to me like you don't have much of a choice. Besides, it's not my fault you didn't plan better in your youth for when you would get old. But I suppose now you can really only blame yourself for how poor you are now.
Okay, fine. It doesn't have to be 1,000, but at least 500. Surely you can spare that much.
I'm afraid that you're really not getting it, are you? I'm not quite sure that there's much point in continuing this conversation at this point.
Please, don't do this to me. Don't you realize that you're going to be leaving me with nothing? I need money. I have debts.
Are you talking about the mortgage on your house or something like that?
No, not that. I've been carrying around a bit of debt with me for the past few years.
And just how did you end up getting all of this debt in the first place?
Well, I applied for a new credit card because my husband was always telling me to cut back on my shopping, and I didn't want him to know, and well, I guess I just ended up spending more than I expected to.
And just how much credit card debt do you have now?
It's about $30,000 with debt at the moment.
Wow, I really just don't even know what to say to that at all.
But I thought that we'd be okay. I didn't know that my husband was going to get sick. I thought that he'd still be working. I didn't think that he'd be forced to retire this early.
I see. And so I take it that you also don't have any savings at all to help pay off this debt then? It sounds to me like you're in a really bad situation, aren't you? And do you really think that we're going to help you out with this even after all you've said to me? Because it's just not going to happen. You both are just going to have to figure out how to live like this now.
You mean you don't feel bad for my husband at all? You don't care that he's ill and can't work and needs help?
You know, I hoped that your husband might have been different, but after the way you treated me, I realized that even if he didn't say anything about me directly, he would always laugh at jokes at my expense. I never felt like I was treated that way by any other member of your family, so now you two are on your own. Now, please, just keep your word this one time and never contact me or my husband again. After that, I heard through the grapevine that Martha did end up finding a job after all. But since she had so little work experience, she was fired from every place that would hire her on. As Martha tried to look for a job that she could handle, her and her husband had to sell their house and downsized greatly. Martha had tried applying to many jobs, but it took her a while to realize that the only one that would hire her would be ones that required no kind of skills or education. She hoped to find at least a desk job where she wouldn't be asked to do so much, but she ended up having to take on multiple part-time jobs, many of which ended up letting her go. Apparently what had happened to Martha's husband was that he collapsed due to overwork. For years, he had been the sole breadwinner and kept the house running by working overtime almost every day. And yet, despite his condition, after Martha began working, neighbors began to talk about how loud fights could be heard from their new tiny apartment. In the end, it sounded like Martha wanted to get a divorce, but knew that doing so would only hurt her financial situation further, and so she couldn't bring herself to do it. As time passed, however, the stress of living a life like that began to show on both of them. As for Orwell and I, we only keep in contact with my parents and almost never talk about Martha. My parents really love Orwell and think of him as the son that they never had. And Orwell does a great job taking care of them and helping out around the house when he's able to. Of course, I never wanted things to go the way they did with his parents, but I'm happy that we could still find family that love and care for us and that we can do the same for them in return. We still keep in touch with the rest of Orwell's family too, and they've all apologized for the way that Martha had treated me. They respect our choice not to talk to Orwell's parents, but still make an effort to include us in things where they won't be attending. Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.